Another day, another sunrise. The quiet of the morning won't last long, as the rumble of diesel engines and sounds of steel wheels will take over. Welcome back to the Tar Heel State Rails. In this outing that I had on 6/18/26 with a buddy of mine won't quite be the same as my other videos you see on this channel. Today we are chasing the Winston-Salem southbound and High Point, Thomasville, and Denton railroads around the Lexington and Thomasville areas respectively. The Winston-Salem southbound is a railroad jointly owned by CSX and Norfolk Southern, primarily running between the towns of Winston-Salem and Wadesboro, North Carolina, with connections to the Norfolk Southern at Winston-Salem and the CSX at Wadesboro, and the yard in the middle at High Rock Lake, which is where transfers can also be made to the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton Railroad. More on that later. The primary area where we will be chasing today are going to be between Winston-Salem and High Rock. So just after 8 a.m. we began making our way out to the Winston-Salem southbound. Following the Winston-Salem southbound on Old Highway US 52, we are running pretty blind because we have no idea where this train is. The train that we are trying to catch is a local train that comes out of Winston-Salem and heads south to High Rock and will return back to Winston-Salem later in the day. So we decided to stake it out at a crossing at a spot on the map called Welcome, just south of Winston, until finally, after 10 a.m., the waiting would pay off, as we would see headlights and hear a distant horn off in the distance, marking the arrival of the train as he comes south through a tree tunnel, heading south. Not even 5 seconds after the engines pass, we're back on the road chasing the train south. A few slowdowns would happen due to road work, but just north of Lexington, we would catch back up to the head end, as it blows for crossings with its classic Wesley horn. And right at Interstate 285, he was in the rearview mirror until we would get stopped by a red light, allowing him to pass us at the railroad crossing right next to the intersection we were at. We were neck and neck with this train, and we knew if we stopped again somewhere to see it in Lexington, there was no way we would catch back up to him. So, making it through the traffic light plant at Lexington, we would get ahead of him just south of Lexington.
No defects. Repeat, no defects. Total axle 148 out.
That defect detector you heard was the Lexington detector, which is their only defect detector on the line. And with that, we would be ahead of him. First stop south of Lexington would be William Bell Road, and in a few minutes, the train would show up out of the north. And again, we would go. Now on State Road 8, following them south. Our goal was to catch them as many times as we could before they got to High Rock. So, when we got enough distance between them and us getting to a crossing, we would pull off at the nearest railroad crossing to catch them. This time, the lights and gates of Hunt Road would activate, signaling the arrival of the train once more as they head south for the yard at High Rock. And once more, this time off Feezer Drive as the train approaches the home stretch to High Rock. Unlike the busy main lines that CSX and Norfolk Southern run on, the Winston-Salem southbound and the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton, you'll see later, operate at a slower pace, focusing on several local industries rather than long-distance freight. This makes it very unique as you can chase trains more, rather than chasing trains at either 50 or even 60 miles an hour on the main line that carry intermodal or mixed freights. Our final stop would be the crossing over High Rock Lake. And yes, sadly, I lost the video in my file while in post-editing. I did manage to get the photo of the train crossing the waterway, and I do have the videos of the train clearing over the lake. So I'll show those to you right now, but after this, we would set sail and head over to the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton Railroad for the second half of the day. Taking a look at the map to take a look at what we will be chasing for the second half, the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton Railroad is owned and operated by the Winston-Salem southbound. With the Winston-Salem southbound being jointly owned by Norfolk Southern and CSX, you can see one engine from each railroad running as a duo on this line. With the name being said, the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton starts in High Point, running through Thomasville and Denton, ending at the WSSB interchange yard in High Rock. One train normally runs this line Monday through Friday, working industries and moving traffic in between High Point and High Rock. And this is where the interchanges will be made with the WSSB. They can also make interchanges with Norfolk Southern at High Point, but I'm not exactly sure how that happens. But let's go ahead and cut to US 64, where we would begin the chase of the High Point, Thomasville, and Denton Railroad. We would first spot them just near North Carolina 109 and the US 64 junction, and we would parallel them until they would cross in front of us at a railroad crossing, giving us a chance to film them rolling by as they were heading back north. Now the real chase began. After they cleared us, we would take a road that would give us access to parallel them just south of Thomasville, and there I would get some decent pacing shots of the engines. With us now ahead of them, we would pull off at Pierce Road for a quick shot of them before continuing the chase north. Now again, as we tried to catch back up to him, it would be a very close distance between where we were and where they terminate, but we managed to sneak a very quick shot at Grace Road in Thomasville. Jumping back in the car, we knew we only had one shot left, and it would be an out-the-car shot on Denton Road, and that would be our last shot. So, I would like to thank all of y'all for watching, and hope you learned something. And until we meet again somewhere out there by the tracks, this is Tyler from North Carolina Railfan Productions, dropping out.